Okay, my name's Mark Ashmore, and you're listening to the director's commentary of the film Broken Britain. I was the director and producer of this film. First of all, I say a massive thank you to Northwest Vision and Media and the UK Film Council who funded this film. And also, if you're listening to this or seeing this on the internet, we're giving this away for free on YouTube, Daily Motion, Current TV, those sort of video channels. So it's going to be part educational. It's hopefully going to give you an insight into the film and why we made it. And I'll be talking about social issue-based filmmaking. A lot of people always ask me is why have you got this guy on the beginning of your film, and he's talking about Salford. It's something we found on YouTube. I typed in Salford into YouTube and found this guy sort of talking about the area, and I thought it just set up where the film company was from. It's nothing to actually do where the film is based, although the film is based in Salford. It's actually sort of to give the film company an identity, because we are a Northwest film company and we're growing now, and also part of Future Artists. Okay, on the screen now you've got Gordon Brown saying some of the most regretting words in his whole career. There'll be no more boom and bust in England. How those words must be haunting him now. We called the film Broken Britain. The name's been around for about 2 years. I think it was coined by the Conservative Party, and we basically used it so that when this film did go on the internet and it did start to get a lot of press, that people would be interested and watch it. But ultimately the film is not really... obviously there is a statement there that's saying it is a broken country, broken Britain, but the film is about soldiers and them, sort of the attitudes towards soldiers in the UK. Okay, so the scene you've got in front of you now is, the idea behind this was to, you've got a load of hoodies walking towards somewhere and they've got something in a bag and they're looking quite threatening. So for an audience that are just watching this, they'll be thinking, are these the bad guys? What's going off? The location as well came big into it. If you can see just behind the monument, there's a house with boarded up windows and the roof's all caved in, and this location was found by Barry Phillips, who also plays the policeman in the film. And yeah, it was just quite poignant really that these guys are coming towards this statue, and it's up to the audience to figure out what's going off. We're not trying to hand them anything on a plate. So obviously it all starts to change around now. The important things for any filmmaker to think is how to start your film, because we're in an age now where if you do put your film on the internet, people are going to be watching it for maybe, I think 15 seconds is the first thing they switch it off. So you probably already switched it off by now, but you've got to have a really strong opening. And I always think that openings of films should be like a Spielberg or a Lucas film. Imagine the beginning of Indiana Jones where, with Raiders of the Lost Ark, where you have the boulder chasing Indy, or The Last Crusade where you're wondering who that kid is, and obviously it's the young Indiana Jones. So your beginning of your film is really important, but for me it was, let's establish our characters. So here we go, this is Sick Boy, and we're obviously establishing that he's upset, and then little flick to colour, a bit of out of focus, his POV, and then we go into the main film. And I've been told by a lot of people that they like this, that they're just sort of thrown into the movie. But it's a short film, so you don't have a lot of time to establish things. And this film's now, from this moment onwards, is almost in like real time. So this incident and everything that happens now is like real time. This joke that Danny's telling to Mark, it was all improvised. In the script it says he tells a joke. But this scene is, there's a lot more levels to that. I mean, on the page it probably reads for about 3 lines, but you've got the guys in the burger van, the little things they're doing, the interaction. You figure out that Sick Boy, played by Brian Hook in the red shirt there, is impatient, wanting to get somewhere. So you're setting up the story and also setting up the characters. And this moment here was improvised, and this is all from Danny, from stuff that he got on a night out. And even the little moment there where the camera holds, and he says, "What a dick." It's his own lines. That just came up through improvisations and rehearsals, which is a big thing that I work on. I take, I suppose you call it the Mike Lee approach to filmmaking, or working with actors, is where we workshop the whole film for about 5 weeks before we got to the set. because we only had 8 hours to make this film in. This entire film that you're watching now is shot in 8 hours in the pouring rain in October in Salford, with everything working against us. But because I workshop with the actors, because they knew exactly what they were doing, we had time to experiment and change and really get these performances down. I mean, these are great performances from Gemma Windle, who plays Amy, and from Aaron Rochford, who plays Lewis. And hopefully these characters are going to come back in the feature film, Big Boys Don't Send Postcards, which I'm currently working on with some ex-British Armed Services. Tell you more about this scene. From this point on where she's talking, I mean, we have got cutaways in this, but I actually shot this as a Steadicam shot that lasts for about 8 minutes, and it was the first setup of the day, and with a fantastic DOP, camera operator and lighting team, we lit this entire scene from this moment here where they're talking to you for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, no cutaways, and then she walks off into the club, and then all the way into the club to the point that she sits down, bursts out crying with Kit, her friend, played by Jay Hobbiday. It's all in one shot. It's 10 minutes. There's no cuts. The reason we couldn't use the Steadicam shot is there was a few imperfections in it. Like when she walks around this corner in a minute, we have to cut away because there's a shadow on the wall, because you can see the boom mic in a minute, but we cut away and go in. So I had some cutaways to do that. And then she goes in towards these guys. They were based on people that I used to work in nightclubs with in Chesterfield. You know, I used to work on a door as a promotion manager, and these guys used to run the doors. These are, you know, we wrote these of characters that I'd known. A little cutaway there because there was obviously a little mistake somewhere. And then remember, this would have all been one shot. So we had about 20 people pulling cables backwards on this. It was the entire crew. That just me sat by my monitor, and I was looking around while I was doing this going, where is everybody? And they're all bashing cables. It was like 40 meters of cable. And the reason we had to cut there of him going away and the doorman letting them in is because you could see Amy's or Gemma's battery pack, because we had nobody on set that was looking after costume. So there was a mistake there. And we covered it with a cutaway. Okay, so this is the obviously the end of that Steadicam shot, and the reason that it's quite silent here when you watch the movie is because I wanted just the booming music to be in the background, because you see a lot of nightclub scenes in films, and people are just talking at their normal level, not talking over the music, so I figured the music should be more overpowering. Okay, so we got Darren Gordon and Clay Witter, who are playing the doorman. Absolutely fantastic. On the page, not very much, but they brought these characters to life, and these really are the bad guys stopping the soldiers getting over the threshold of the public house. So there are many levels to this scene. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on this, but behind both the doorman are